Hello, thank you very much for clicking on this reading. This is very exciting because this is my first ever request on this channel. The person who requested this did request it like a month ago, so I'm hoping they see this because I did take a little bit of a break, a little bit of a hiatus. Not that long, to be honest. This past month was very busy, but anyways, today's reading is on your spiritual gifts. So yeah, if anyone, by the way, is interested in a personal reading, I do offer those on my Etsy, and they're now $5 instead of $20, so big perk, everybody cheer, because I wanted to offer video readings, and now I'm offering just written readings, so just in the form of like a written notes message, because I realized you can't send more than like 90 seconds of video in an email. I mean, you can, but it's kind of a complicated process that I just didn't feel like dealing with. So I was like, scrap that idea. I'll just do written readings for now. So I don't have any like free or like just like free question readings where it's like just like ask whatever you want. I do have like specific readings on there, but I feel like they're pretty open-ended. I have a love reading, which is just, you know, an energy check-in between you and your person, kind of what's going on. I have a what you need to know right now reading, and I have a what you're currently manifesting reading. So basically an energy check on you and what you're currently attracting, since we're always manifesting. But yeah, that's what I'm currently offering. I feel like pretty much anything that needs to come through will come through. I don't like to have those readings on like a rigid rule. It's just kind of like whatever oracle cards or whatever deck I feel like using for your specific energy. It'll just kind of be a person to person, what's the word, circumstantial basis. But yeah, if you're interested, that will be linked below and also in my YouTube bio. So without further ado, let's get started on today's reading. Hello, thank you again for clicking on this reading. This reading is going to be, what are your spiritual gifts? I do want to put like a disclaimer to please excuse the ongoing construction noises throughout this video. I'm hoping, because I only use my phone and I don't hook up a microphone, that it shouldn't pick up where I am. But if you do hear any like grating noises in the background, I do apologize for that. But yeah, today's video is pretty much just gonna be pretty simple. I'm gonna pull some oracle cards at the beginning to get a read on what your spiritual gifts are, and then I'm gonna use the tarot to get a read on how you can use these gifts in the practical world, and also how they manifest for you in the physical realm. So yeah, and then I'm also gonna get some angel messages at the end. So I'm gonna show you each of the crystals up close. For pile 1, we have the Phantom Wise Tarot with this green obsidian. For pile 2, we're using the Mystical Manga Tarot with this golden obsidian. And for pile 3, we're using the Sailor Moon Tarot with this blue obsidian. So all obsidians. So take as much time as you need to pick your pile. You can be drawn to any and all of the piles. What I do if I have a hard time picking a pile, I usually just kind of watch all of them. Not that I'm getting you to try and watch all of them unless you want to. But I'm not doing like an energy check for these, but you'll just kind of know if something resonates with you. So I usually just watch all piles and just feel out the beginning and see if it's like you feel something in your gut or in your heart. But yeah, you can pause if you need to. I will give you some time to pick. And yeah, we're gonna get started with pile 1. Hello, if you chose the Green Obsidian in the Phantom Wise Tarot, then welcome to your reading. I'm just starting and I may have to like blow this candle out before the second reading because it's a 3-wick candle, as you can see. I don't know if my camera's actually getting all of it, but it just smells very strong, very sweet. I usually like sweet. But yeah, anyways, speaking of my camera, let me make sure it looks good. Is that, you can kind of see. That's okay. Yeah. So let's get into it. Yeah, let's get a read on your energy and your spiritual gifts. So we have wisdom. Inner wisdom nurtures the skills necessary to see through all possibilities. We have thief. The light attribute is sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. And the shadow attribute is stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. We have skunk. The skunk and magnolia with the protection. We have the sun, healing energy, happiness, comfort, and joy. And then we have treat yourself. Okay, I don't know if I should change this layout, but I think it's pretty fine. So the first message I'm getting, you shine the most, you shine the brightest whenever you let your inner child come out to play. And if you've done any like inner child healing, or if you felt called to inner child healing, that's definitely for a reason. Especially just, I know that this card can be a little daunting because I wouldn't say you're like a thief or a bad person in the way that this shadow attribute says. I don't think that we all have shadows, but this first light attribute made me think sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Yeah, there's a light within you, and these other cards also talk about it. There's a light within you, whether or not you see it, that just, yeah, can't be stolen. It's yours. Your energy is very, you will find a lot of success in life and just success in your endeavors, and you will feel more in your own energy. This is also giving like solar plexus energy, which is your center of confidence, sense of self. And if you have felt lost in life, if you've struggled with feeling a sense of purpose, or struggled with keeping your sense of self when you're out in the world because you don't meet a lot of people that you feel like you can relate to, or if you struggle, either relating to people or feeling like you need to put yourself in a box in order to fit in. There's that beeping noise. I hope you can't hear it, but anyways, if you have struggled with that, there is an emphasis on you're in your like most powerful manifesting energy when you're embracing your truest essence, the truest parts of yourself, and you have a natural ability to protect yourself. You also are very naturally intuitive, whether you realize it or not. I'm feeling sort of like a throat chakra block though, or that also could just that could be me inhaling these fumes. But anyways, yeah, you have like a natural connection to the divine and connection to divine wisdom that you may write off sometimes, because you don't want to, this is just a classic case of not wanting to shine your light for a few reasons, but not wanting to shine your light. One, because you don't want to make anyone else feel bad, or you don't want people to think that you're like grandiose or something. You may not want people to see you as a grandiose person who has like a sense of self-importance, even though, there's like people who walk around super duper arrogant and nobody bats an eye, and they could be like objectively arrogant, and I feel like you're not even an arrogant person, you're just afraid of shining your light. And also there's that sense of just fearing that you would never be able to find your tribe, your people, your soul family, because if you actually shine your own light, you fear that it may push people away, and maybe people that are already in your life, but more so people that you may find, or you may think that it's going to make it harder for you to make new connections or make friends, because you don't feel like there's lots of people that could relate to this energy. But I feel like your spiritual gifts, there's many, but one of your biggest spiritual gifts lies in your ability to fully embrace your own essence, to your own like energy. That's a big message that's coming through, and I feel like your other spiritual gifts would naturally start to shine whenever you embrace this natural energy that just feels more you. And yeah, this card, Treat Yourself, also makes me think of inner child healing, because it does. I think it literally talks about inner child healing, or just embracing your inner child, embracing your inner little demon, not actually like demon, but just, the little part of you, maybe the little devil on your shoulder that wants a sweet treat whenever you feel like you have to be like on a diet or something, or like the part of you, I got like that was so weird. I got like a really cold feeling on my back. I know that cold feelings are usually associated with ghosts. I don't think there's any ghosts in the apartment, but if there are any ghosts, I'm not talking to y'all right now. No offense, but we're talking to pile 1 and pile 1 spirit guides only. But anyways, but yeah, this part of you that, yeah, just says like, hey, like, if it wants to treat yourself, I mean, honestly, I feel like it's probably more so an angel on your shoulder, if anything, saying to treat yourself and to just allow yourself. And it's not even about just getting a little sweet treat, that's just like an example, but giving in to whimsy, I guess, giving in to the urges you have to just do little things that you enjoy that you may think are like childlike, or just like too immature or childlike, like color. I mean, they have coloring books for adults, so I guess coloring, but if you want to like, color like a child, like color all outside the lines and just do something that would like kind of nourish your soul, I just feel like that's something that would really, there could be like nostalgia as well. I was thinking like childhood books or TV shows, just things that bring you comfort, but even more so than just indulging in those things, really digging deep, really like finding the parts of yourself that you've been denying, that you want to embrace but maybe haven't felt the courage to do so. With this card again, I feel like you're good at protecting yourself. I feel like maybe a little too much. This might be something that you have developed as a defense mechanism. I mean, I feel like you've always just had a very protective energy, because I feel like your higher self is also just aware of how like precious and necessary of protection. Like obviously everyone's necessary of protection, but your soul is very, it's like having like an introverted soul, I guess you could say, because you may need to recharge more. You just may have less energy for lots of people, or certain events, and so there is just naturally a protective bubble around you. But I also feel like the more that you start embracing your truest self, your truest essence, just deep down the parts of you that want to have fun, and just like look at this card. It's just it's very whimsical, it's very fun, it's very fresh. She's just having fun. I don't know, if there's ways that you want to like express yourself that you have just been afraid to, or just haven't felt like the motivation to, because you've like maybe had the idea to, but then it's just like it doesn't make sense to, you will actually be tapping into your spiritual gifts the more that you, even if you have to, like, something that helps me is journaling, getting clear on what it is that you like, how you want to project yourself to the world, because it doesn't have to mean projecting, like caring about how you project yourself to the world doesn't have to mean that you care too much about what other people think. It just means that you care about projecting an authentic version of yourself. Your authenticity is very powerful, and to get to this Sun card, it can be very healing for both yourself and others. You have a natural ability to heal. This card also talks about, actually I kind of forgot already, but I think it was like just healing, like when you're sick. Like I feel like maybe you're the kind of person who doesn't get sick often, and if you do, you have a natural ability to kind of heal yourself even if you're not purposefully doing it. I feel like you have a very healing presence. Maybe you found yourself being like the group therapist of your friend groups in the past, and again, it's just like you have like a natural protection over you. I feel like even if you were being authentic to the world, I want you to know that your energy is protected. One of your gifts is being able to discern just discern. You have a lot of discernment, and that, again, that just connects to your wisdom, your intuition. You're very intuitive, but if you find that you have a hard time manifesting despite being intuitive and despite like feeling called towards something, it honestly might just be because of this denial of self, these restrictions that you may put on yourself that you don't need to put on yourself, and yeah, not fully embracing you. I wanted to quickly just look at the Sun card. Yeah, sunlight brings comfort to our bodies, easing chills and dampness, helping us stay warm. The Sun card is associated with robust health and healing illnesses. The light chases away the darkness and encourages joy and happiness. So I'm gonna get into the tarot. I'm gonna get a drink of water first, and I actually am gonna blow this candle out because yes, it helps channel, but it's honestly for aesthetics, and the aesthetics is not worth what it's currently doing to my nostrils. So give me 1 second. Okay, that's much better. But yeah, before we get into the tarot, I just want to reiterate, your spiritual gifts are having a natural connection to the parts of you to your inner child, having a natural connection to your inner child, and having really strong intuitive abilities, and having this healing energy, And this ability, honestly, I'm thinking of the Magician, this ability to really manifest easily, especially with this sun energy, with that solar plexus energy. It's, you know, it's confidence, it's power, and there's a really just strong, you have a very strong energy naturally that just shines very bright, and it can be hard. I feel like this is a very common theme with, you know, with people whose souls just shine naturally very bright, who have a very naturally bright aura to them, and just a very powerful spiritual manifesting energy to them, and a very deep intuitive wisdom to them. I feel like it can be hard to hold that energy and hold all of it and feel, also the AC just came on, but anyways, and to feel comfortable expressing that, because there is just this especially, which, like, especially if you're a woman, just because, I mean, this goes for both genders, but especially for women, making yourself small is what has been taught for like centuries. There's actually so much that I've been reading on like history of like religion and stuff like that, when it comes to the way certain books were written and things that were kept out and whatnot. But yeah, feminine energy has always been kind of crushed. And again, feminine energy could be regardless of gender, but it's something that, you know, there's just a lot of societal pressure to keep yourself small. And again, regardless of gender, there is a feeling where people don't want to see you shine, because there's just going to be a lot of jealousy, or it can feel like that, like people don't want to see you shine, but that really shouldn't matter whether or not people want to see that, because you will attract the right people into your life and the right things into your life by shining this light. So I want to see now, how can you use your spiritual gifts in the 3D, and how do they manifest for you in the 3D as well? I'm already seeing the Sun card on the bottom of the deck, so oh god, it's really hard to shuffle with these nails. Okay. But yeah, I know that might seem vague, but your energy is your gift. Your energy is your gift. Your natural ability to, I feel like you're just a gifted manifester, and you may not feel that way because in order to do it effectively, you have to embrace yourself, like fully, just embrace yourself as a whole. And your spiritual gifts really come in by getting in touch with your own essence, your own intuition, really listening to yourself. That's how you can really, I mean, we're gonna get into the tarot, but I feel already like that's how you can really hone in on your spiritual gifts. Okay. How can pile one? Oh, okay. Use their spiritual gifts in the Page of Pentacles. Temperance. I feel like that card always comes out when I'm using this deck. Power one, use their spiritual abilities in 3D. Two of Pentacles. Okay. Lots about balance, and there's lots of Pentacles energy, so that is also telling me that this is something that can bring you a lot of abundance in the physical world. It's not just something that has to be hidden. Okay, 7 of Wands. And I'm gonna get one more. And the 9 of Wands. And on the back of the deck, we have the 2 of Wands. So first and foremost, obviously that moves so much. There's a message here about balance. Trusting yourself and trusting your divine guidance. The way that you, I mean, I kind of already touched on it, but like the way that you can really use your spiritual gifts, being that you kind of are the spiritual gift, you can turn it into a business. First of all, something that you have something to offer the world, or just even a small group of people. You have something to offer, you have gifts to offer. There is something, and obviously this is going to be different for everyone, but there is just something about your energy that is meant to be seen, that is meant to be like, whatever you want to do, I feel like you would have success in, because you have a natural ability to just get people's attention, and also people are naturally drawn to your energy whether you realize it or not, because it can feel like the opposite whenever you're put in situations where you may not feel what's the word, like, I guess you may not feel like you can relate to those around you, or you may just feel like for whatever reason there's a wound around feeling like inadequate or not necessary, like you feel like you can't add anything to the lives of the people around you. But I actually feel like that's a distorted view, and you feel like you've had to defend yourself, or maybe you've just had your defenses up. And I feel like having your defenses up too much, or naturally just walking into situations assuming the worst in not just others, but in the situation, naturally has you with your defenses up, and that may actually be blocking your blessings a little bit. With this 9 of Wands, there's that feeling of something being blocked, of like not quite yet. But it's not because it's being withheld from you from the universe. I mean, technically, if we're not acting ready, then yeah, it's being withheld from the universe, but it's not because the universe doesn't want to give it to you, or there's like a right time for it. Because I feel like there's something that you it's not even, I mean, yes, it's something that you want to manifest, but it feels more like a complete lifestyle change that you're waiting on, but you don't realize that you could do it right now. All you have to do is change. All you have to do is start implementing new ways of being, getting clear. And it's not like you have to change yourself. It's honestly that you have to be more yourself. Because you could be blocking your blessings by having your defenses up and not showing your true essence to other people. And there's a part of you with this 2 of Wands, I feel like, that feels like that knows, that feels conflicted. I'm putting conflicted actually in like quotes, because you're not actually conflicted. Like, you know what it is that you want, and you know how you can get it, and you know you want it. There might be a feeling of not feeling deserving. Or yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a feeling of just for whatever reason, there's a subconscious belief that you've held for a long time that whatever you have to offer isn't necessary, or somebody's already doing it, or oh, I might as well just leave that to someone else to do, or oh, we don't need more people doing this or selling this or offering another course, or we don't need this, you know, looking at it from a lens of kind of pessimism, which is understandable, but I feel like you're really undermining what you have to offer. That's what this feels like. And so I feel like to use your spiritual abilities in this world is really just to change your mindset. It's to open up to the fact that your spiritual abilities will help you in manifesting what you want. It's not like you have to deny the spiritual side of you and the side of you that is intuitive and has these spiritual abilities and focus purely on like how to practically get things done, or like how to, yeah, because I feel like for some of you, you may be denying the spiritual parts of you, like your natural intuitive abilities, your natural, like, you may get downloads or feel like doing like spell work even, but then you may not do it because, or you may just kind of like shrug it off. Because yeah, it really, what it comes down to is this subconscious belief that you can't have what you desire, and what you desire is, and how you get it is directly correlated, because I feel like there's a lot coming out about manifestation here and just your life path, and I feel like the reason is because what you desire is directly related to your spiritual gifts. And so if you continue to believe, which, you know, it's hard because it's a subconscious thing, right? But if you continue to act in ways that keep enforcing this belief, because that's really all it is how we act in our daily lives and what we do and what we believe, that continues to enforce our subconscious beliefs. The only way to change it, obviously there is like subconscious reprogramming that it could probably get done faster. If you want to look into that, there are videos online about it, and books about it and stuff. Like, it's like hypnosis. But you don't have to go that route. Changing your daily habits, and it doesn't have to be in like a super disciplined way. Just changing the way that you move in the world will change how you feel, and it will create new neural pathways that tell your mind to believe differently about yourself. And so I feel like you're being called to do new things, for one, like just, you know, dabble in new things, and then dabble in things that just seem fun to you and just seem enjoyable, and just, yeah, do little things that would kind of start a spark or a fire in your soul. It could just be a little spark too, just like a little, like, oh, I'm gonna paint today, or I'm gonna dance around today, or I'm gonna do this, like just something that would make you feel good. Yeah, because the more that your spiritual gifts, again, are directly related to your life purpose, I feel like, and leading you down the right path. So if you came to this reading and you're in like a moment in your life where you feel kind of stuck or stagnant and like things aren't moving forward for you, in life, it's because you have to harness these gifts, but it can be hard to fully dive into them when you're not believing in yourself. And so I feel like that is really what's going on here, and it's going to bring balance for you, and it's going to bring, you're going to be able to balance practicality with your spiritual gifts and with your psychic abilities, your intuition. And it's just you're gonna know what to do. Your intuition isn't going to feel like wishy-washy or like hard to grasp because sometimes intuition can feel very abstract and feel confusing, but I feel like it's gonna come in a grounded way where you're gonna be able to get a grasp on what it's really trying to tell you and what action it's calling you to take, and things are going to naturally start falling into place for you. So yeah, I feel like that is it. I'm gonna get into the angel messages for you right now. I'm hoping that I gave enough info about like your spiritual abilities. I feel like it could be very broad for this group in general, but I do feel a strong sense that your spiritual abilities are connected. I'm just picturing like a straight line. It's directly connected to you and your path. It's not just something that you have, which I feel like that might be true for everyone, but like for all of these groups, I'm not sure yet. But it just feels very like yeah, part of your spiritual abilities and part of them developing have to do with you being on the path that you're on, and oh my gosh, I'm hungry, sorry. I don't know if you heard my stomach rumbling, but anyways, have to do with you harnessing your ideas. And there's a very strong intuition. I know everyone has intuition, but the vibe that I get from this group is like, I guess, this is what Spirit wants to really drive home, is that you have a natural magnetic aura. That is one of your gifts that you don't even have to try. You don't even have to try on it. The only thing that you do have to do is be yourself, because the more that you put up walls around this aura, people can't see it. And the thing is like, you have this magnetic aura because it's supposed to bring you success and abundance, but you can't get that if you're not one, listening to your intuition, and also just shining your light into the world. And if you believe, our mind is very powerful, and if you believe negative things about yourself, it's going to be hard for your energy to shine. It'll still be there, it'll still have its light, but over time it'll get dimmer and dimmer. And you want to be able to bring that spark back. That is where your gifts lie, is just in you feeling a spark. So yeah, I'm gonna get some healing angel cards, some advice or messages from your angels, and then I'm also gonna get 2 of the angel number cards. Okay, I'm already kind of bad at shuffling these. I actually hate wearing nails. The only reason I do it is because I can't paint my nails at my job right now. So I don't want to just paint them for the video and then take it off. So I just put nails on. I mean, I guess I could just have bare nails. I don't think anyone really cares. So whatever. Okay, angels, what message or messages do you have for pile 1? Okay, divine intervention. You may feel frustrated because something stalls or comes to a standstill. Progress seems painfully slow, yet this is a yet this is a blessing. It is divine intervention at work. When the timing is in perfect harmony, all will come to fruition. So yeah, I also just feel like trusting is going to be a big help for you right now, because I also feel like this video feels like divine intervention for you. If I'll take that one, heart song. But this video, if you've never seen my videos before and you're coming across this for the first time, this might be the divine's way of reaching you and really making sure that you know that it's time to embrace your soul. But anyways, this says, what is your heart saying? Stop and listen. Your truth lies within the empty spaces between your thoughts. Your truth shines through from within your soul. Your truth is that which is eternal and unchanging. Your truth is love. So there you go. Your truth is very important. Your truth is one of your gifts. If you resonate with being a light worker, that could also be a confirmation. Anxiety. We surround you with the healing light of amethyst. Take a deep breath and breathe in this beautiful violet light. Feel your anxiety melting away. There is nothing to fear. There's only love. So there you go. Like, you are protected. I do want to get one more actually. Okay. Ugh. I'm about ready to take these off. Anyways, truth. The best way through the current situation is to just speak your truth. Hold on. Contrary to what you may think, no one will be hurt if you express exactly how you feel. We have positive thinking and Archangel Raphael. Positive thinking is vital in creating a healthy and abundant life. A positive attitude along with positive beliefs and thoughts are crucial ingredients for creating happiness. Don't worry, think love. Feel yourself surrounded by my emerald green light. I, Archangel Raphael, offer you healing and solace. The storm clouds will soon clear and the sun, is lots of sun energy, will shine eternally bright. Trust. So yeah, there's a lot about shining your light and about things becoming more clear for you and a lot about truth. So if you've been feeling unclear as well, I think you're getting a lot of clarity. I'm gonna get 2 of these cards. Okay, we have 999, I am unique. Thank the past for your lessons and leave it where it belongs so you can make the best of the life that is still waiting to be fulfilled by only you. Okay, and we have I am wise, number 15. Your love for others is powerful and you are able to spread your gifts of support far and wide. Your curious and social nature brings you in contact with a variety of people, all who would benefit from your warm, heartfelt words of wisdom. So yeah, I feel like the right people will just naturally fall into your life, and you're meant to collaborate with other souls that have souls like yours with that felt kind of redundant, but yeah, you're meant to collaborate with other healing individuals. You'll know when you're around them because you will feel light. You will feel a sense of healing. And you have this sense of healing within you. And it can be hard to be a healer. I feel like you have a very healing soul. I know I didn't touch a lot on that, but as a healer, it can be just, that is one reason why it can be draining to be around other people, is because you naturally kind of just are a healing, you're like a medicine for other people, but at the same time, it can be, this might be why you have your defenses up, because you're used to feeling drained around other people because of this. But there are ways to protect your energy, and it ironically, being your most authentic self, being more you, may seem counterintuitive to protecting yourself, but it'll actually make your own energy stronger, because your solar plexus is one of your earthly chakras, and when you make the earthly chakras stronger, you have like a stronger, it's like, imagine the difference between like a rock and a pillow. You know, they're both physical objects. I feel like a rock, I mean, it's very grounded in the sense that if you drop a rock on the ground, it's gonna stay there. A pillow is lighter, it's fluffier. It's just, you know, the more that you heal the bottom three chakras, which is the sacral, roots, solar plexus, the more like a rock you will be, and you'll just naturally have protection around you, and you won't have to hide yourself. You'll just have such a strong, solid foundation within yourself that that'll be your protection. And I feel like that's something that you've honestly felt already throughout your life, but this is just a reminder that like your own strength within yourself and confidence within yourself is your protection. So yeah, so that way you can heal others without it being draining for you. But yeah. Also, I just thought randomly, if you want to look into Reiki healing, that may be something that you're interested in, whether to get for you or also as like a potential job. Just saying. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this reading and that it was insightful. If you're interested in seeing more readings from me, please do subscribe. And yeah, if you have any suggestions or just want to share literally anything, feel free to leave a comment and a like if you like this video. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your morning, night, or afternoon. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the Mystical Manga Tarot and the Golden Obsidian, then welcome to your reading. I apologize for this group and group 3. Very small change. I took my nails off. Really not that big of a deal, I feel like. Which is why I took them off, because I was like, I don't think anyone's gonna care. And I honestly hate wearing them. I also turned the candle, or I didn't turn the candle off. I blew the candle out because the smell was really strong, too much. So some aesthetic things are amiss, or is that I think that's the right word. They're not here anymore, but that's okay. I hope you still enjoy this reading as it is. But yeah, we're gonna get into, that moves a lot. I'm putting it up there. That's okay. Let's get into the oracle cards for what are your spiritual gifts. So, starting with nurture. Nurturing your inner child supplies you with the innocent joy of living. We have King. The light attributes are enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. And the shadow attributes are excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. We have the antelope in wheat with nourishment. We have hearth, safety, comfort, spiritual connection. And we have divine feminine. So, very cozy energy. I'm not surprised that you chose the golden obsidian just because it's a very, I don't know, very fall-esque color. Very cozy color. Oh god, I just hit my phone. Anyways, very cozy color. This is a very cozy group. Whether or not this is an energy that you embrace, because I feel like you have the ability to to lead people in a way that is soft and fair. That made me think of like Libra energy. Your spiritual gifts, regardless of gender, lie in a more feminine energy. I mean, we literally have divine feminine here. And again, I don't know if everyone in this group already embraces a divine feminine energy, and if that's not something that you feel comfortable with, then I feel like seeking out people that kind of give off a divine feminine energy, because I feel like, or just seeking out activities that feel nourishing. I feel like your natural gifts, which I'm getting kind of like, I got this in the last group, that like throat chakra sort of blockage feelings. Which there's also stuff about like inner child here as well, which was also in the last group. And then I don't know if you heard my throat, sorry about that. But yeah, there is like a throat chakra. This is also with being blue, that sort of feeling. Because I feel like which there's construction again, but they had stopped for a while, literally for all of group 1 they stopped and then they're back. But anyways, if there's 2 scenarios that I'm kind of thinking of. One, if you naturally just have like a softer, more nurturing approach to life, and if you've ever been made fun of for this, or stepped all over, or just people made you feel like you needed to be more, like you weren't loud enough, or just felt like you weren't being enough, basically fuck those people. They don't know what they're talking about. It's a projection of their own insecurities and the way that they live their lives and the way that they think things have to be. But this is very much showing me that you have a very strong voice, regardless of how you come across, because you know there's people who come across as very intense or loud or boisterous, and you may just have a softer energy, and people have led you to believe that somehow that's invaluable. But this is telling me that it's actually your strength, and we'll get into how it's spiritual, because it all comes down to your natural energy. That's one scenario. Another scenario could be that you're someone who is a little bit more boisterous, literally on the opposite end of the spectrum, and you could benefit from, and feminine energy again doesn't have to necessarily be, it can be boisterous, but I feel like you just may, if you fall into this group, may fall into maybe some of the shadow attributes about being a little bit more harsh. I guess boisterous wasn't the right word, but harsh. And I feel like, honestly, for everyone, because I feel like everyone in this group, if you're in that part of this group, I feel like there is something in you that has always called you towards a more soft approach. It could even be, like, even if you take this approach of being a little bit more harsh, it could even be that you were in the other group where it was like, over time, people led you to believe that you weren't going to achieve anything, you weren't going to be listened to if you took this approach of being more just feminine, more of a nourishing sort of healing energy. And so maybe as a defense mechanism, you became like hardened, I guess. Because this is showing me that your true essence and your spiritual gifts lie in your feminine energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy, but your ability to be nurturing, to be a comfortable, cozy person is your strength. You have a natural ability to make people feel safe and a natural ability to heal with your words. I feel like that's kind of why the King card came out, because whenever I think of a leader, I just think of someone actually taking action and using their words, using their actions, because obviously, you know, feminine energy is more associated with receiving, and the King is completely contrast to that. It's a very masculine energy, but you bring a type of leadership, a type of like just energy that people want to follow. I feel like, I don't know, I'm feeling throat chakra energy very strongly. I know that this is kind of more indigo, which could be like associated with the third eye chakra, more intuition based, but I'm getting a strong feeling of using your voice. You could have a very melodic voice. You could sing. I know that the satyr here is also using an instrument, which I'm noticing there's also kind of a horn imagery going on, which that makes me think, this is just my own association with it, because coming from someone with like religious trauma and associating horns with technically like evil things, there also could be an emphasis for you to let in energies that you may have been afraid of, maybe. And like, what I mean by that is maybe you've had your own religious trauma, or just there's things that you've been afraid to embrace about yourself, because I mean, maybe it literally could be this divine feminine energy, because maybe you were raised to believe that it was invaluable, or even like wrong to embrace, like somehow morally wrong to embrace a darker feminine energy, or yeah, to cultivate the dark feminine with a light feminine, and dark masculine, light masculine, like everything has light and dark. And so there is this feeling of like integrating all parts of yourself. I feel like you are meant to be a bringer of light, but someone who's not afraid to go into dark places and shine a light, and to bring healing and to bring nourishment. I feel like your soul has a very like quiet confidence to it, and quiet strength, where you appear very soft but are very, your soul is able to handle a lot and is just very strong. And so I feel like that is also one of your gifts, is being able to transmute dark energies, even if you feel afraid of them on the physical. I feel like your soul does not shy away from those darker energies, and that may be something that has scared you, just because it's something that you can feel. And it's funny because it has everything to do with like your healing abilities and your soul just wanting to heal those things within yourself. And part of healing is integrating. So integrating dark into light. But if we have certain, 3D ideas of what darkness is, it can be easy to just try and deny those things and be afraid of them and run away from them. But I think that your soul doesn't want to run away. And again, with I want to go back to inner child, nurturing your inner child. There's also a lot that I think your inner child, a lot of wisdom that your inner child has for you. if you've dealt with any traumas, which I feel like everyone has, in some form or another, your inner child is not afraid of that darkness either, and wants to show you, wants to kind of like guide you, and show you that it's okay to embrace dark and light, and to embrace all that you have to offer. I feel like your inner child, similar to the last group, this was a message in their group, is that your inner child holds a lot of wisdom in opening your spiritual gifts. So I feel like, yeah, like one gift you have, like I said earlier, is a melodic voice, a voice that people want to listen to. Not just like the sound of your voice, but just, you're almost like a siren. That's what it feels like. It gives like a siren energy. Like whenever you're embracing a soft, nourishing energy, which very likely is what you naturally gravitate towards, that'll be like a confirmation that you'll know this is your group. If you're just naturally like, you just naturally gravitate towards being a little bit more low-key, I guess you could say. You don't feel the need to be very showy with your words. It's time to really embrace that and not let anyone have you feel bad for it, because embracing that energy naturally makes you like a siren to the right people, to the right groups, and to the right environments. I feel like you have a lot of healing abilities, a lot of just an ability to naturally nurture, and not just other people, but yourself. And if you feel called to it, if you feel called to a purpose that involves changing the lives of others in some way, helping others, or even if it's not in the traditional sense of helping others, like being a voice of reason, or if you just feel like you have something important to share, to say, if you have a passion for helping others feel more themselves, helping them feel nurtured, because you know what it feels like to feel like, you know what it feels like to feel other, or to feel small, to have people make you feel small. You know what it feels like to feel emotional pain. And if you have a passion for helping others, you are meant for that. Something that is just naturally ingrained in your soul is a gift of healing. Because there was kind of a healer energy in the last group, but it was very different. I didn't feel a need to mention it right away, but for this group I feel called to mention it right away. This is I feel very much like water in this group. I feel very like flowy. The last group had a very there was a sort of a fiery solar plexus energy. There was a confidence, but it was like a standing in your power energy in a more, I guess, masculine way, but I don't know. But this feels very much like letting power flow through you and letting it be soft and gentle and quiet. If that feels like you. If that doesn't feel like you, you don't have to, water yourself down. But the energy that I'm getting from this group is that you are a nourishing, gentle person. And yeah, I feel very strongly that those are your gifts. I'm making sure my phone is still recording. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I want to get into the tarot. Beautiful energy. But yeah, I'm just going to be using the tarot to see how can you ground these gifts in reality. How do they show up for you in the physical, and like how do they manifest for you in the physical world, and how can you use them to the best of your ability in the physical world. So how can Pile 2 harness their abilities in the physical world? Okay, we have the Empress. So yeah, so much feminine energy. Like, I would honestly be shocked if anyone in this group doesn't align with feminine energy. It's so strong. It's undeniably strong, and I just feel like, yeah, like regardless of gender, obviously, but yeah, I really do feel like if you have been embracing or trying to embrace a more harsh, direct approach, especially when it comes to the way you speak with others, that may not feel natural for you. That might be a defense mechanism to have people take you seriously. How can Pile 2 the Sun? Okay. Yeah, lots of energy. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't feel like you make a difference, or if people have made you feel like you don't, have made you feel small, this is, I mean, you already have 2 major arcanas. You definitely make a difference and make an impact. How can Pile 2 use their spiritual gifts? King of Wands, very interesting. 10 of Cups. And one more. Oh. And the 7 of Cups. So on the back of the deck, we have the Magician. So I'm gonna go get some water really quickly because my voice is getting kind of dry. Okay, so the first message I'm getting is, how do I put this? Be okay. It's okay to be indecisive, or it's okay to have multiple ideas. More so than ideas though, feelings. If you feel like your moods are often all over the place, I feel like Spirit wants to tell you one thing. You may just pick up other people's energies very easily. So that may feel confusing for you, but I'm getting to kind of embrace that and kind of use it as fuel for your own ideas, your own energy, your own emotions as well. This won't be for everyone, but there also could be a relationship or just a divine counterpart specifically, that whenever you come into union with them, it may spark like a spiritual awakening that helps you in like every area of your life. There could be someone you're like meant to be with. What you could be with them already. Not to make this about love, but if that resonates, there just could be a divine counterpart for you that you create something with. There's lots of people talking outside. I don't know how, I'm literally so far away from the window. But anyways, I feel like in order to use your spiritual gifts and ground them into reality and really make the most of them, the Empress is basically another reminder or a confirmation, if you will, to not be afraid to embrace feminine energy. And that is a lot about receiving. If you don't feel like taking action towards something, like you may, if you think that you're being lazy, you're not being lazy. Anything that you feel, you're meant to listen to your emotions. So get in tune with your emotions if you're not already. Make it a habit to ask yourself how you're feeling every day, to check in with yourself. Check in with yourself like whenever you remember to, every hour, every 10 minutes, even if it's not something that you normally do. Because your power and your ability to shine really relies on your ability. This is again, this is going to be a message probably for everyone, because this was also in the last group. It relies on your ability to be true to your essence, be true to yourself, be true to the energy that naturally just resides within you. And again, there's this sort of king energy in just kind of smack in the middle of all of this. Because, you know, there's tons of cups energy, feminine energy, and then there's this King of Wands energy. And so I feel like at the root of all this, there is a desire within you to be a leader. And I feel like that may have been, I feel like that's been confusing for you because of society's idea of what a leader looks like and of other people's projections onto you of what a leader looks like. It's made you feel like just weird and iffy about it because you're like, well, I don't know if I can actually do that. And you're like, if I do want to do that, then I have to change who I am at my core. I have to change the way that I project myself to the world. And that's not true. In order to use your natural spiritual abilities, which your natural abilities are literally, they lie in your emotions and your ability to understand other people's emotions because of how well you understand your own emotional world. So being in tune with your emotions, being in tune with the flow, because if you're in tune with your emotions, you will naturally go where your flow leads you, where your emotions lead you, because your emotions are connected to your intuition. And I know it's not like one of those things like whenever people feel anxious and people, you know, everyone, it's very common to confuse anxiety for intuition. this is more so like, because you'll have anxieties, and that's not your intuition talking. And I know anxiety is an emotion, but I feel like in general, say you were having anxiety, you were feeling that emotion, I feel like it still holds a lot of wisdom for you and will still lead you where you need to go, not by listening to the anxiety itself, but by, you have an ability to really tune into what the emotion is telling you. And the more you learn to listen to that and to trust that, you'll naturally be able to flow into what is and what needs to be and what needs to be done. You have the ability to take inspired action coming from like emotional flow. Your inspired action comes from your emotional flow and comes from your emotional like understanding. And being understanding towards others, and also just like having that natural knack for connecting with others through just knowing, like, you don't have to force connection, you don't have to force yourself to talk to people if you don't want to. That's not exactly what this is. It's more so like when you do connect with others, your natural ability to see them, not just on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, you see and feel their emotions. People feel very seen by you, and that makes you a very magnetic person. That makes people want to be around you, and it makes people want to listen to you. So you don't have to of course there's going to be people who project their bullshit onto you by assuming like you can't be a leader if you're like this or like this. Like, there's going to be people like that, but those are just, I mean, honestly, part of being such a receptive person, the cons to it, I guess you could say, the negative side to it, is that people will just project their own stuff onto you and their own, again, insecurities or own beliefs about the world that they may be angry at. They may project this idea onto you that you have to be a certain way, but it's coming from their own belief that they have to be that way, But either way, there are still so many people, probably even those people that say that, I feel like they would listen to you and actually allow you to lead. And actually, your words hold a lot of weight. You've probably said things to people or given advice or just said little things to people that you just met, that to you is just you being you, and you just saying what comes to mind, but that could have made that person feel extremely seen, and it could be something that changed the trajectory of their life, or it actually really just unlocked something within their brain or within their soul. Your words hold a lot of weight, and so that's why it's so important that you don't sell yourself short, that you embrace your truest essence, and that you follow your emotional flow. Following your emotional flow, seeing what your emotions have to tell you, not necessarily just acting on emotion, but having an awareness and understanding of your emotions, which I feel just comes naturally to you. So you won't even have to question, oh, how do I do that? Because you'll know. It comes naturally to you. Having an emotional flow just makes sense to you. Being in touch with your feelings just makes sense. And it'll lead to a lot of healing and happiness, both for you and the people around you and the people you meet. And you'll become a master manifester as well. It'll just start bringing things into your life that make sense, which makes sense because embracing your natural essence, your natural flow is bound to bring good things into your life, is bound to manifest. It makes you a magnet. So yeah. Yeah, I feel like people, if you stay in that emotional flow and let it guide you, you'll become the leader that you want to become. You will have the voice. If you, I'm not gonna lie, like it may sometimes still feel like there's people that just don't understand you or aren't listening. But the more that you just kind of let that roll off your back, you'll find, like, the more that you nourish yourself and also remind your inner child that it is safe and that there was nothing wrong with you, you are exactly who you need to be, and really start giving yourself more compassion for who you are, you'll feel that sense of knowingness and trust and confidence within yourself, and you won't feel the need to change yourself. You'll feel like, okay, like I can share my voice and I don't have to change my voice. I can share what I want and I don't need to change the way that I choose to express it. You know, it's kind of the same thing as like choosing to just post something online, for example, and not caring about adhering to the algorithm, because that's not what it's about, you know? The people who are going to listen will listen, and the people, your group will find you. You know, you're not trying to do anything for anyone else. That's what ultimately your like best physical self, like that's the energy that it abides by. It's like you're not trying to do or be anything for anyone else. You're just being yourself, and it's working for you because your natural healing energy just nourishes so many souls, and it was meant to be like that, you know? Like if you were to try and mask that and try and hide it by forcing yourself to be like extra, I don't know, I heard the word like dominant, but like extra just overbearing or harsh or yeah, you know, like if you were to force yourself to be that way, it just wouldn't, it wouldn't be honoring your natural energy, and it wouldn't get to other people the way that you want it to. You'd become one of those people that ironically are the people who are like, oh, you need to be this kind of way. Because those people who think that may very well just be wounded from people telling them that they couldn't be a certain way, you know? And be the person who just embraces you as you are and embraces being a soft, kind leader. Someone who leads with kindness and softness. Because there are people out there who need to see that that exists. You know, if you don't see that very often, it's because you need to be the one to show other people that that kind of leader exists. And when I say leader, I don't want it to be like, sometimes leader can be like an intimidating word just in general, because you may not want to be like a boss or a leader, but I do see that you're going to have a voice that a lot of people listen to. And yeah, again, I see whenever you're in this energy, that's not even something you particularly care about. Whether or not people are there to listen or care about it, you know that you care about it, whatever it is that you're sharing. You know that you care about yourself, and you know that you want to honor your own gifts and your own natural way of being. And that's important, you know? And whether or not you realize, like whether or not you purposefully go out of your way to heal other people, you're gonna be healing yourself 1000%. But I also feel like you may feel called to use your gifts to heal others. Whether that's with your words and your actions, just your words again can literally heal others. So whatever that means for you, using your words to heal others, just let that be, you know, what it's gonna be, and follow that. So yeah, I am going to get some angel cards for you, and also some angel number cards. This was a beautiful reading. Yeah, I'm excited to see what your angels say. I know that they love you very, very much. Okay. Angels, what do you have to say to pile 2? We have do it now. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it's the guiding voice of your soul. You have middle path. Embrace both sides. The middle path is the road to a balanced and more peaceful life. So yeah, I feel like that kind of touches on that confusion again of like, you have balanced masculine and feminine energy, and I feel like you just, yeah, you know how to lead and take action and also be the gentle person that you are. And if there's something that you've been feeling called to do, let this be a confirmation to do it, that you're supported in it. You have gratitude. Make gratitude your new attitude. The stars will shine brighter upon you. All in your world will become lighter. And then we have heart song. What is your heart saying? Stop and listen. Your truth lies within the empty spaces between your thoughts. Your truth shines through from within your soul, and your truth is your truth is that which is eternal and unchanging. Your truth is love. Okay, and now we get 2 of these cards. Okay, we have 55. I am evolving. Substantial change is in your future. Embrace the change. A need to overcome your insecurities and let go of your fears. So yeah, I feel like you're really close to like manifesting something. Maybe this is what you needed to see in order for that to happen, to truly embrace these gifts you have, because that's what ultimately is going to get you to success. And just success in the sense of feeling good and feeling fulfilled, and yeah, just feeling in the flow also. Okay, and we have 2. I am diplomatic. You have great talent for finding solutions. Your intuitive and unbiased nature allow you to see all sides of any situation and advise others towards the most fair and beneficial outcome. So yeah, I just feel like you have a natural knack for peace, bringing peace to others, and whether or not you realize that you are really good with others. Yeah. So I hope you liked this reading. Sorry, I'm kind of burping. But yeah, I hope that it was insightful and helpful in some way. If you liked it, please do leave a like. That'll help me in my videos. And you know, if you have any suggestions or like for future videos, or you just want to share literally anything, feel free to comment. And also, if you're interested in seeing more videos in the future, please do consider subscribing. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, or night. So bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Sailor Moon Tarot and the Blue Obsidian, welcome to your reading. So pile 3 and pile 2 have the luxury of no candle and no nails, because after pile 1, actually midway through pile 1, I blew the candle out because it was too strong. There's 3 wicks, so being right next to it, it was just very sweet. And wearing nails, I've decided I'm not a nail girl. I've gotten my nails done and I feel like it feels fine when they're done, but using those adhesive tabs is honestly really uncomfortable. So the aesthetics of the video are a little bit lackluster at the moment, but that's okay. So let's get into your energy and see what your spiritual gifts are. So to start off, we have confidence. Self-confidence opens you to the energy required to carry you through each day at your best. We have mother. The light attributes are nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. And the shadow attributes are smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. We have the trout and lily of the valley with purification. And time, presence, self-awareness, and jokes on you. So the first thing I noticed was there's a lot of green, so that could indicate strong heart chakra energy, but I also just feel like this was like Mother was making me think of Mother Earth. I feel like you have a very earthly energy. For some reason, I feel like the last few readings I've done, pile 3 always has this energy of earth for some reason. But one of the first things, well actually, okay, before I even say that, I want to touch on the actual first thing that I thought of, which was regarding this confidence card. I feel like when I was pulling the cards, I don't know, I felt very like I didn't have to focus too much. Like I felt very sure of each card that came out and just how I was shuffling them. I didn't think to myself, oh, should I shuffle that one more time or should I do this? I feel like you have the gift of trust in yourself, of self-assuredness, and resilience is, sorry my voice is shaking. It's that time when I've been talking for too long and it starts to shake. But anyways, resilience. And the other thing that I was gonna say before I said that was regarding this card, because this card talks about being organized in your space, but also in your, you know, mental space, emotional space, soul space, physical space. I feel like you have a knack for, yeah, just being resilient. You have a very resilient soul. You're able to purify situations, come back from situations. You could kind of be like the mother of a friend group or just a group. People throughout your life probably see you as being the put together one. Or if you don't feel like you're put together, I feel like, I don't know if you can hear that, a really obnoxious car. But anyways, if you don't personally feel that, there's a message here that keeping your space and your mind and emotions and all that in order and having this sort of organized, maybe minimalist way of going about things so that you're less stressed, I feel like that is something that would help you and allow your true energy to kind of come through more and allow your spiritual gifts to help you more. Okay, I don't remember what I was saying because I had to pause because there was an ambulance going by. But whatever. That's another thing where, yeah, I feel like I usually make sure to like kind of repeat where I left off in my head until I get back to recording the video. And yeah, I feel like there's a sense of like self-assuredness. And I think I actually remember, I think I was talking about having a sense of like organization. I feel like that's something, being like minimalist, you might resonate with like having minimal things, being just keeping things simple because it makes life easier for you. It makes life less overstimulating. I feel like one of your spiritual gifts, your main spiritual gift, honestly seems to be, because green also makes me think of being grounded, and I feel like being grounded, which, by the way, sorry if you can hear the construction outside, as per usual. So annoying. What the fuck is that? Anyways, I feel like you have a very grounded energy. I feel like you are good at staying strong in tough situations. You have gotten really good at regulating your nervous system. At being understimulated rather than overstimulated. I feel like maybe there was a point in your life where you did feel really overstimulated by everything, but I feel like making things simpler, which is coming from a part of your soul, I feel like, yeah, making things simpler for yourself has really built this resilience in you to be able to handle situations that might have been overstimulating before or might have been too much. I feel like this is something where even though it's a spiritual gift, it's something that you've had to take the time in the physical world to kind of build up. And it's being highlighted right now. One thing that I feel like your soul naturally has is this purification energy, which is why maybe it came more naturally to you to have this sort of like self-preservation, is what I was thinking of, because I saw self-awareness here, but I thought it said self-preservation for a second, and I feel like that is a quality that you have, is just the ability to know when enough is enough. You have a natural connection to your body that not a lot of people have, because it can be very easy, especially in this fast-paced world, especially in a world where spiritual gifts could seem like there's supposed to be more of a focus on like the higher chakras, or just something like that, in a world where one of two things: people may be too overly focused on enlightenment in like the crown chakra part of it, like they're more focused on leaving the earth, ascending, rather than being with the earth. And also in a world where people are just so disconnected from their bodies because of the fast-pacedness of just how we're expected to be. So from a spiritual standpoint, and also from a just day-by-day standpoint of like the way a lot of people live, it can be very hard to connect with your body. And I feel like that's something that you're naturally just very good at. Again, I don't know why group 3 in my readings always seems to have this energy of being connected to the earth. There must be like 1%, because I only have like 20 subscribers right now. There must be like one person who consistently watches group 3 or something, or maybe it's just a coincidence, but if that is the case, then I hope that this is like a confirmation that you're definitely good at the whole earth thing. And yeah, just you have the spiritual gift of having a very balanced root chakra that doesn't get shaken up very easily. So it's something that you don't even have to try. But I do think that something that does help you is being more minimalist, is having less things to worry about. But I do think that you're venturing out a little bit and like buying more things for yourself and finding ways to keep it organized and finding ways to have fun spending on yourself and treating yourself while also keeping it practical. But yeah, this natural like root chakra energy that you hold, and this natural like purification that just resides within your soul, makes it easier for you to feel confident and sure in making practical decisions. Because I feel like sometimes when it comes to taking action, I know that there can be an emphasis on listening to your intuition and listening to emotions. And I feel like when it comes to taking inspired action, that is true. I feel like you're good at taking like what is right in front of you and just knowing what to do with it. You just have an inner knowing. I think, is it claircognizance? You might be claircognizant, which is just knowing. Because yeah, one of the other groups, I didn't say this specifically, but clairsentience was coming through more, where it's like, or like clairsentience, clairvoyance, more of a feeling or intuitive feeling, but this feels like more logical and more practical. Obviously you have emotions, but I feel like your intuitive hits come in like an inner knowing, a gut feeling, which again, I feel like it could be a gut feeling, but I almost feel like it's less of a feeling and more of a knowing. And that seems to be one of your gifts. I feel like maybe one of the things that you might have a hard time with is maybe being hard on yourself, because you're just the kind of person that can take it. Like, you're just the kind of person that isn't super sensitive in the sense that like tough love and people being kind of impersonal doesn't really faze you. People who are more like get things done, talk about emotions later, doesn't faze you. It doesn't hurt your feelings, because you also just have this deep understanding that things aren't that personal. That shit just needs to get done sometimes, and you're very good at getting things done. You're very good at like locking in and getting things done. And I feel like that comes from a natural, just spiritual instinct, a rootedness to earth. I feel like your spiritual gifts lie in being able to create very easily in, sorry if you can hear that beeping by the way, but like just one example is I feel like you would be good at having a business where you, like if you wanted to do this, but if you wanted to use your spiritual gifts for business purposes, I feel like you'd be good at, I was thinking woodworking. Woodworking, making little birdhouses is something that I'm seeing, like making jewelry, making arts. Like this doesn't have to be, just because it's like practical doesn't mean it has to be boring. I feel like you're good at creating with your hands. You're good at making things, you know, maybe crocheting or anything that you can do in the physical, or like, which is literally anything. Even if it was filmmaking, directing, you're very good at knowing, you'd be very good at giving directions, at knowing what looks good on camera, at knowing cinematography, at knowing, if you were the writer of the script, knowing how the story should play out. I feel like you just have this understanding of the human condition. You understand humans very well from almost a very like objective point of view, rather than just understanding one aspect of humans very well. Like rather than understanding human emotion very like deeply, or human psychology very deeply, or the way that humans operate very deeply, it's like you have a, I don't want to say surface level because it's a little bit deeper than that, but almost like a surface level but slightly deeper understanding of humans as a whole, rather than really deeply knowing one thing. You kind of are just like a jack of all trades. That's kind of what this is giving. And I feel like it's, again, I think it's because you just have the ability to be very present and very aware, and that helps you to have a more objective stance and viewpoint of humanity, of the way things work, and that makes it easier for you to make decisions. And to put things into action, because you don't really have to overthink it. Again, it's that claircognizance, it's that knowing. Speaking of that, I'm making sure that my phone is still recording. Okay. But yeah, like, again, the only like shadow I can see with this is being hard on yourself and maybe expecting a lot of yourself, which again, I feel like you have the capabilities to handle that. But I feel like maybe at times you would neglect your more emotional side, or maybe even the emotional sides of others, because it can be easy to forget that not everyone operates like that, and some people are more sensitive and need more like reassurance or self-assurance, or like, yeah, reassurance. Because I feel like that's something that you just naturally have, is that self-assuredness. And yeah, I want to get into the tarot to see, I kind of already talked about it a little, but I want to see how can you use these gifts in your everyday life. How can you use these gifts in the physical, and how do they manifest for you in the physical? Okay. How can pile of 3 use their spiritual gifts in the 3D to the best of their ability? Okay, we have the 3 of Cups. Okay, we have the World and the 4 of Wands. The Knight of Cups. And the 10 of Pentacles. And on the back of the deck, we have, there's Temperance, and we have the Emperor. So, yeah. Like I was already saying, you have a natural ability to ground your ideas without even having to think twice about it. It's just something that comes naturally to you. I feel like with the 3 of Cups, there's an opportunity for you to learn how to dive even deeper on how you can help others, or like how you can be, I guess, more compassionate with others who aren't the same, who don't operate the same. Because even though I feel like you have like a general understanding of human nature, again, there's like, it's very general. Not that that's a bad thing, but there can be people who, again, I feel like this would kind of just roll off your back, but who might be upset with you because they don't feel like you understand them. And that may be like, oh, like what? Like what? That may come as a surprise, because I feel like it's not that you're dismissive of other people's emotions, at least not on purpose. But I feel like there's an opportunity here to open up to new perspectives and see how other people do things and view the world. At least that's what Spirit is saying. And like, the only reason for that is well, because it's good for human connection, but also like having an even broader perspective, because I feel like you might like routine and like, you know, you have a good thing going, you have a good understanding of things, and things just are working out for you. I feel like that's true. With this Emperor energy, you get shit done. It's a masculine energy. It doesn't, regardless of gender, you know, you like have an understanding of the practical world. And I feel like this is saying that, oh, broadening your perspectives and your horizons, and maybe even stepping out of the routine a little, could deepen these gifts, because you're already so powerful in what you're able to do, being that you're so rooted to earth and to yourself, and you have that confidence. Imagine how powerful you could be if you like had that, plus you had like a deeper emotional understanding of other people, of the way, you know, they feel and things. Like, just imagine your perspective now being as powerful as it is, just like getting bigger, being able to hold even more space for just everything. It's essentially just being able to hold more knowledge. And I feel like this is about networking. The more you can network with people, the more, I mean, this almost seems like cold, the way that I'm getting it. It's like the more that you can, at least the way you might see it is, the more you know about people, the more you can figure out how they work, like they're like robots or something, and the more that you can, I heard figure out how to use them, but I don't feel like you want to do that. I just feel like not in a malicious way, I just feel like you, the emotional side of things may be a little bit repressed or underdeveloped, not to like, I don't know. But I feel like you've gotten this far and you've been happy with that because you've been able to probably succeed a lot, and it's helped you a lot. But I mean, I do remember that Mother card being there. So there is a level of like nourishment, but I feel like it's been coming from like an understanding of people rather than a deep emotional connection. I feel like you have had deep emotional connections, but you may experience like, whenever you do have deep emotional connections, it can be really tough to navigate whenever you feel hurt, because it just is too much, and I feel like emotions are not your forte. And so I feel like, yes, this would broaden your perspective in a knowledge way, but I also feel like life is trying to show you that you can have it all. You know, you can have not only like a great work career life and a great ability to manifest abundance, but you can also have this spiritual, emotional abundance and beautiful connections with people. Because I feel like your soul is honestly coming through to say like, your spiritual gifts have gotten you this far, and now it's time to learn even more about the emotional side of people, so that you can feel maybe something that you haven't really felt before, that emotional, like that deep emotional bond with someone or with multiple people that would just completely like change your spiritual blueprint. It would just completely expand your world. And again, being with the world here, I do like, I get this feeling like yeah, you're kind of closing out a chapter that has been pretty fruitful and abundant for you, or at the very least you kind of feel like you've gotten your ducks in a row. This is like I normally feel like moving the cards like this, but I feel like for this one I've wanted them to be very straight and very literally in a row. I feel like you've used your spiritual gifts so far. You've used that rootedness, that claircognizance to be organized and make life simple and make life easy. But maybe you felt like there's something missing, and I feel like it might be that emotional aspect. And the reason I feel like this is coming through is because I almost feel like you already know how to ground your spiritual gifts because you've been doing it. And this is kind of coming in to show you like there's more to experience than your day-to-day routine that you've become so comfortable in. There's more to experience, and with the Ten of Pentacles being at the end here, it'll still bring you even more happiness. You know, again, it'll bring more material abundance, but I almost feel like your spirit doesn't, like your soul is coming in to say, but we don't want that to be the thing that like gets you pulled in. Spiritual or material abundance is promised, but that emotional fulfillment that you'll feel is like no other, and it'll be an experience that you'll be grateful to have had, because it'll just open doors for you. It'll broaden your horizons in so many ways. And maybe this is something that has already happened, but with the Four of Wands in the middle, this could be in like a literal marriage. You could witness a marriage that changes how you feel about love. You could meet someone who, again, changes your view on love. Maybe you thought you would never get married and you end up marrying this person. If you're already married, you could be viewing marriage differently, as opposed to some people, I'm not saying you do, but some people view marriage as a more of a contract, which I guess it was initially intended to be like a financial contract, but some people continue to be like, oh, well, that's all it is, you know, as opposed to a union of souls, not just like a piece of paper, you know, even though it's like, oh yes, it technically is just a piece of paper. I mean, the ceremony, the reception, everything about it is about human connection. I mean, weddings are like the one place that people, family and just friends all get to meet each other, and it's not for like something sad like a funeral. That's another instance where people are coming together, but it's like a wedding is where like everyone's coming together to celebrate love. It's a very beautiful connection of people and love and souls. Like, it's not just a piece of paper. It's an event, you know, it's an event for a reason. If whether it's big or small, you're bringing people together. And I think ultimately, especially being next to this Knight of Cups card, I feel like your life is going to become more romantic if it hasn't already. I feel like your soul is really calling for an expansion. Yeah, an expansion of experience right now. Implementing emotional fulfillment with your natural ability to manifest, to make things happen. And I also want to say, like, in regards to using your spiritual gifts, if you're not already using them for a passion, something that you love, this is also telling me that you can use your spiritual gifts for something that you love. Because I don't know if this is true for everyone watching, but it's possible that you've been very good at getting things done that would be expected of a person, I guess. Getting practical things done, but maybe you have a blind spot when it comes to actual, like, something that would actually fulfill your soul. Because you're very good at grounding things into reality, but maybe that's like the one thing where you're like, oh, I don't think I could do it. But I don't get that vibe, but I almost do, where it's like, you know, there's like an undeniable knowing that you could. But for some of you, there's something that keeps you from doing it. This group could have also, you could have experienced just like trauma at a young age that made you shut your emotions down a little bit. Like, I'm noticing she's kind of just crossing her arms, giving kind of like a cold shoulder. And in this picture, she's very open and receptive, and also there's very cold colors here as well, like blue, green, and more of a dark theme. And here it's more open. It's like pink, yellows. Because yeah, I really do feel you have a natural confidence and natural knowing. That's where your spiritual gifts lie. And even though it didn't come out in the cards earlier, like the main cards, the next step for you is to implement emotions into this, because that is what's going to bring you the best results. I feel like you've found a lot of success, maybe monetarily, or just you've been very lucky. And even if you haven't, I feel like you've still kind of made something for yourself. You've taken the steps needed that made the most sense and that were practical. And your next step is to combine this with some form of emotional fulfillment, and whether that comes in the form of connections, human connection. Yeah, big emphasis on that. I just got like a cold feeling. So big emphasis on that. Or like something that you love doing, like a craft. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to repeat myself too much. I see like a lot of happiness for you, a lot of goodness, and it comes down to your ability to be receptive and learn. And I feel like you have, even if I know at some points in this video, like I kind of I don't want to make it seem like you're completely like anti-emotion or like unreceptive to opening up to that, because I don't feel like you're unreceptive. I just feel like it's something maybe you haven't fully considered yet, because life has kind of been comfortable as is, and I feel like Spirit is saying that in order to use your spiritual gifts to the best of their ability, it's time to open yourself up to new horizons, because I feel like you also just have a natural ability to adapt. Even though you probably have gotten comfortable in a routine, you do have a natural ability to adapt and learn new things and integrate new things. So yeah, I'm gonna get some angel messages for you, and that's where we're gonna leave off. Let me see where we're at. Okay, cool. And then I'm also going to be getting some angel numbers. Okay. Okay, angels, what do you want pile 3 to know? We have courage. You have what it takes, just do it. We, your angels, are here to support you. Okay, we have forgiveness. Let the past go. Clear your heart and mind through forgiveness. So yeah, this won't be true for everyone, but there could have been like, and this could have happened like a long time ago, somebody that hurt you, that made it just easier to, because again, I feel like your soul has always been really good at purifying energy and resilience. And I don't feel like you've repressed emotions. I feel like maybe a little, but it's because you're not doing anything wrong necessarily. Your soul just has an ability to kind of transmute energy. But because of that, that can be a very good thing, but it can do it very quickly and not give like your brain, I guess, time to fully process yeah, because you just bounce back really easily from things, and I feel like you've learned in a way almost to repress, but this isn't something that's like stuck, that you're like stuck with, that your soul is just like stuck you with. There could have been stuff in past lives too, where your soul has kind of learned that it needs to have this sort of resilience, and it needs to be very protective of itself and very strong. I feel like you've had past lives that were honestly pretty tough and made your soul very strong. And I feel like this life is the time where you're being shown how to just be softer and soften more into emotions and forgiveness for yourself, especially. And you know, it can take courage to do things differently and to open up to horizons that you haven't previously. So yeah. Okay, we got 2. Positive outcome and healing angel. I feel like these are very, this one is very in line with this, and this one with this. Positive outcome. The sun is about to burst through the clouds, and you will soon see things in a different light. Something that previously seemed hopeless will soon be filled with nothing but hope. At this very moment, you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. Accept this healing. We, your angels, surround you with wings of love. You are eternally free, eternally fresh, and eternally abundant. So, this also made me think, like, maybe recently, even though things are good, like, even though you have the ability to handle life very well, obviously things aren't perfect all the time, and maybe recently especially things have felt a little stagnant, or just kind of like got you in a rut, which I feel like you don't usually find yourself in, but when you do, it's kind of like tough to get out, especially because you're not used to it as much. Because at least, like, when you are stuck in a rut, you find yourself out of it pretty quickly, and maybe there's been something where you just can't find your way out. And I feel like the reason for that is because spiritual growth is coming for you. So this ended up being a message of like, here are what your spiritual gifts are, and there are more, like, there's more growth coming for you, because your spiritual gifts up till this point are like a culmination of all the lives that you've lived so far. And I feel like your soul is honestly like, okay, I'm kind of ready for a little bit of a redirection, of honing in more gifts. So this is actually really exciting. You have a new beginning coming for you, and that is really, really exciting. I think my voice just cracked. Typical. Okay, so let's get you some angel numbers. So we have 4 with I am stable. You bring stability and rationality to any situation. True. You are the rock, and your hard work and perseverance make you a dependable friend, partner, and colleague. So yeah, that kind of sums up your energy to a T. You're very stable, and emotions can feel a little unstable because they're unpredictable, you know? But yeah, this message ended up being, it's a warning. not really, don't be scared, but I feel like you have, there's new experiences coming for you. Not that you've never felt emotions in your life, because everybody has. I just feel like it hasn't been the forefront of your life, and at least in a while. And I don't know, I just feel like, I just want to say you're gonna be okay, but there's definitely some healing and some growing and some new experiences, and not all of them are gonna be like oh my god, what is this emotion kind of thing. I feel like you're gonna experience an array of emotions, including good, like, euphoria type emotions. So yeah. And then we have 9, I am compassionate, which, yeah, I just feel like your compassion is really growing. It's your compassion that makes you shine. You are devoted to helping the greater good and have a strong talent for speaking up for others. Your soul is most satisfied when you are being of service. So yeah, again, I just feel like if this hasn't been your life already, your soul just feels called to serve the collective. I feel like your soul has spent a lot of time, maybe even a few lifetimes, building up strength for a broader mission. And ultimately that mission does involve helping the collective. And I feel like that is kind of where you're headed right now. So this is like the start of a journey. I kind of read like the beginning and this sort of end, or like, I feel like I was reading the beginning of one journey and the beginning of a new journey. And now I wish I could do a whole reading on just this, but oh my god, somebody's yelling. Anyways, yeah, this feels like your soul, which obviously all souls have a broader purpose, but I think that your soul specifically right now has been preparing for that for quite some time. And so if you find like weird synchronicities happening, or more synchronicities than you maybe previously had seen, or like things are kind of shifting. I don't know what's going on astrologically right now, but there could be some important transits. I need to brush up on my astrology. But yeah, there could be something there if you want to look into your chart and what's going on in the world right now, or like what's going on in the broad astrology scope. Then yeah, but ultimately this is good. I am very excited for you. Things might just be changing, but not in a bad way. You might just have really like serendipitous things happen, like weird coincidences. If this resonates, just know that like you're growing as a soul right now, which is cool because I don't know, this energy was like a little different. I like it. It's like, obviously we're always growing all the time, but this feels like you're in a transition period in your life. And because our soul gifts, they can be inherent, like just within our soul, but we also constantly grow. So you're in the process of growing new soul gifts. So anyways, there's a lot of noise currently happening everywhere around me. So that is my cue to end this reading. But yeah, I hope this was insightful and that it resonated. If you have any suggestions for any new readings, or just that if you want to share literally anything, feel free to comment. And if you like this video, please do give it a like if you'd like. And if you want to see more videos of mine in the future, please do consider subscribing. But regardless, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, or afternoon. So bye.